you go first.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see what we got here. All right. So, this week at my local comic book store, Big Ben's Comics in Allen Park, you should all check it out. It's the best store around. I picked up the new Fantastic Four series. Why? Because I love the Fantastic Four, and I love Alex Ross, and even though he has nothing to do with the artwork of the series, he's doing the covers, which is enough to hook me and most other people into checking it out. And unlike the previous Fantastic Four series that have been out in these last couple years, this one was actually pretty good. Granted, it's issue 1. It's going to suffer from issue 1, where they put all that oomph into there and, all the power to sell and get people hooked onto that series. And who knows, 5 issues from now, it might be fucking terrible.
It's going to start hurting.
But it was a really nice story. We had it is your classic Fantastic Four sci-fi tale. We have Ben Grimm and his wife arriving into this town, and they realize that it's old-timey and weird, and eventually they realize they're caught in this weird time loop. It's like Groundhog's Day, which is kind of perfect for the Fantastic Four. Let's do a weird time travel thing like they always freaking do. And what was one cool thing about this, which I'll show you guys up close, is the artwork. It made you think, because it copy and pasted the same picture and the same page a couple times with slight variations to the point where you're like, wait, didn't I just read this? Is this a misprint? And that's the kind of stuff in comic books I really like, where it goes beyond just reading it. It kind of like stops you in your tracks for a second. You're like, whoa, okay.
Right, like what's going on here?
Right.
Did I miss something, or am I on a loop?
Right. And so, like I said, they're in like some weird Groundhog's Day situation, which is great. I love Groundhog's Day. Bill Murray. It's a fun movie. I like it. And... But that's not what we're talking about. We'll save Groundhog's Day for another.
Well, Russian Doll is like doing the Groundhog thing too. I feel like that's like the close, not the more recent analog people are making now.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's like Russian, but I like Groundhog Day better because it's the OG.
Yeah, and it's Bill Murray. It's fun.
Yeah.
But
I hear he's trash now too. I don't.
I'm on the fence about Bill Murray. I feel like everyone has put Bill Murray up on this pedestal. They're like, oh, Bill Murray.
Which I kind of felt was unfounded. Like, why was everybody up his ass for almost no reason? I didn't get it. But I digress.
I'm on board with you, though. Let us know what you think about Bill Murray in the comments. But anyway, they find out that it was this guy who's like, has these weird magic powers, and he just got broken up with his girlfriend, and every time he wishes for something, or like he's starting the day over by dreading about his breakup, basically, and trying to save it or whatever. And so they basically, like Bill Murray did in Groundhog's Day, they go about, they meet everyone in the town, they try to get nice with the locals, they get nice with this guy, and they try to steer him in the right path, and it leads us to this segment that's like, I'll show pictures of it on the screen later, but it was like, I know you didn't see the new Buzz Lightyear movie because you're a grown man.
Correct.
Without a child. But I did. And there was a moment in there that was really sad where Buzz, he's trying to escape this planet on his ship, and he keeps launching himself. And every time he launches himself, it takes 20 years or something, or 5 years or something like that. Oh, and so he's like the man lost in time, right? So every time he returns, everything's changed a little bit. Everyone's older a little bit till he like opens up his boss's door that he had a good relationship, and it's empty. Oh, and I was just like, oh my god, Buzz Lightyear. I didn't know you were going to hit me like that so early.
That's rough.
But it was the same thing in here. You see the guy get over it, he meets a new girl, and it, moves forward in that fashion. Yeah. Until they're like driving away, and Ben Grimm's like, oh, yeah, I guess everything's going to be fine, yeah, but everyone's still pissed off at Reed Richards, and on the last page, it just shows a massive freaking crater in New York City, I guess caused by Reed Richards. I don't know. We're going to find out in issue 2. But what was really cool about this book is at the end, we had the Fantastic Four fan page where you just kind of get notes from the writer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it seems that he's really passionate about this book, so I'm going to keep going with it, because his 4 main points were like, oh, Fantastic Four are fun. The Fantastic Four are adventurers. They can do anything, and they are accessible. And I think that is a fantastic point to start a Fantastic Four series with, because that's been my gripe for years. I'm like, they should make me direct the Fantastic Four movies.
Hey, yeah.
You know, like, what have you got to lose at this point? You know?
Given their track record, nothing.
Because there's so much to work with. You just need to make a classic sci-fi story and not have Doctor Doom be in the first movie.
Oh, right.
You know, he's a Thanos-level villain. Quit throwing him into the first movies and then having him get defeated like he's nothing.
You know, it's one thing if they're going to have him introduced, you know, have him present, but don't have him be full-on Bloom Doom. Like, you know, they're right in the get, you know. There's just too much complexity in history there. You can't do something like that.
And
Doom,
he's just an edgelord in every movie.
Yeah, dude. Like, and
terrible.
there's no complexity. It's just it's a very simplified and boring Doom.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll close that up with, I really enjoyed Fantastic Four #1, and I think you guys should pick it up because I have high hopes for this series, but you'll see in the future where my hopes die. As they mostly do with comic books these days.
I'm glad that we could remain so optimistic throughout this whole venture. But
James, what did you bring to us this week from the pull box?
I myself brought with me, I got Moon Knight, but I'm saving that for next week.
That's me.
Crypt of Shadows, which right there features Morbius. This is the variant print.
Yep, so this came out, I think, a couple weeks ago in October, because I picked up a copy, and I was excited to read it, but I didn't read it at all, so I'm glad that you picked it up.
So I could be the guinea pig in this situation.
Even though I already spent the money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean...
so tell us about Crypt of Shadows.
I'll save you a little bit of pain. Okay, so it's an anthology story, book.
Like Creep Show?
Yeah, okay. Like, you know, it's kind of like a little bit like Tales from the Crypt or something like that.
Or Cabinet of Curiosities like we're going to talk about.
Exactly. There you go. It was all right. It's narrated by Stephen Strange's brother, who I'm not really all that familiar with.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's a vampire now, so I'm reading it in Vincent Price's voice.
Oh, of course.
It just works, you know, if it's not
It's the Crypt of Shadows.
Exactly. So, like, you know, he's narrating everything, and he sets us up with the night, tells us about the first tale, which involves, let's see. Okay, so there's a lot of new characters in Marvel. That that I have no clue who or what is anymore. This new chick, she gets in.
Who is it? Let me see this.
Yeah, this. I'm not sure what the hell you heard.
That looks like some weird furry character. Here, show that up on James Cam really quick.
Right,
that's Stephen Strange's brother.
Yeah, that's Stephen Strange's brother. I'm sorry.
Marvel's like, all right, we're doing it all, baby.
So we got this werewolf chick. I forgot what the hell her name is. Hold on. Werewolf chick. You know, she's on her way to a Halloween party.
Sure, of course.
And she stumbles upon these two teenagers who just happen to be conducting a seance.
Okay.
And one of them just gets demonically possessed. To which her male counterpart says that, it was your interference that messed everything up, and now she's possessed by this demon, and the werewolf chick helps out, and demon's gone. That's kind of the end of the story.
It's like,
and honestly, I don't remember anything because the story was very forgettable, and it kind of sucked.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie.
Hey, that's totally fair. I mean, like... With anthology series, I think it's super rough, and we're going to talk about this later on when we're talking about Cabinet of Curiosities. I don't think a series has really hit the nail on the head as far as, like, a really solid anthology series. We haven't seen a good one since, like, Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side.
What is it? Not Monster Squad. What the hell?
Monster Squad is great, though.
Monster Squad's great.
Monster Squad.
No, I'm thinking of that Creep Show. The Creep Show relaunch. It started off strong.
We're gonna talk about that. Later, for sure.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. I digress. So, story number 2.
Yeah.
Actually wasn't all that bad because it features the new werewolf, who is
New Werewolf by Night.
The new Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
Who, what's his name? I think his name is Lucas.
Of course. Anything that sounds like Lycan or, you know, whatever.
Lucas. So, werewolf, he gets invited to a party, and it turns out that the setup...
Cool costume, bro.
Hey, you know, so, like, what's his face? Like, you know, they show up, him and his buddy, they show up to this party, and it ends up being a setup by some unknown figure.
The artwork's really nice, though. This shot with Moon Knight down here, can you get that a little closer up? That's super slick with the werewolf and the Moon Knight in the window. Super dope.
It actually was a pretty good issue. This story I kind of liked. So, like, there's this other werewolf, and it ends up being a challenge. The servant who opens the door quickly changes and attacks the new werewolf. I forgot what the kid's name. I think it's Lucas. We'll call him Lucas.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
not
call him Lucas.
So anyhow, he attacks him. Lucas changes, and then all of a sudden, like, werewolf, or not werewolf, but Moon Knight crashes the party.
Of course.
Unexpectedly.
Of course, because Moon Knight's an asshole.
Moon Knight is an asshole, and he's an asshole who I love. So Moon Knight's like, oh, wait, there's 2 werewolves here. This isn't right. And he finds out that homeboy Lucas here doesn't belong. He's like, get the hell out of here, kid. Moon Knight finishes the job. The story ends.
Yeah.
We never really figure out who the third party is, but...
And that's the struggle. Like, I'm looking at this book, and it looks like a pretty average-sized comic book. Like, we'll call it girth-wise.
Yeah.
Comic girth-wise.
Thickness.
But, like, and that's the problem with having an anthology story when you don't have it big enough. You're rushing it, and then all the stories are just, like, they don't have that punch, or it's just, like,
Right.
it's not as good. Like, DC, good example, had a horror anthology book. I just tucked it away in the box. But it's, like, it was a $10 book, it was a thick one.
Yeah. I mean, this was $6. The stories, I feel like they don't have enough weight to kind of like really carry anything.
Sure.
But I feel like they might have an issue too where they resolve some stuff, because I feel like a lot of the stuff they obviously cite other issues and stuff, and they're probably gonna carry on one up. But that story I liked. Story number 3.
Yeah.
Morbius.
Did he morb? Was there morbing?
Why can't Morbius get any respect?
Well, because they fucked him, dude.
He does. He gets no respect. Okay, this story, it starts off, it's about Morbius,
and
right?
they gave him such a cool cover, too.
He does. He gets a cool cover. Look at that. He looks cool. He's morbid.
Yeah,
morbid.
that's the cover I bought.
That's what you do when you morb. So anyhow, it starts off with Vicky Montesi. We all know who she is. She's basically she's not the keeper of the Darkhold, but she's associated with it.
Okay.
So anybody that
that's
messes...
the Darkhold book, right?
Yes, anybody that basically messes with it, she's going to kind of know what's happening.
Which we'll probably see a little bit of the Darkhold book in the coming Midnight Suns stuff that'll hopefully be coming out and raise my comic collection prices a bit.
I can only hope if they don't completely fudge things and turn everything to garbage.
Well, I've had the whole Midnight Suns run up on eBay for 5 months.
The original from the 90s?
Yeah, and no one's bid at it. They're all sealed with the mini posters and everything.
And they're probably going to sit there for a minute.
I'm going to take them off until it gets big, and then I'll put them back on there.
But I mean, I hope that Midnight Suns really does get the justice that it deserves.
Oh, yeah. Either way, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get paid. Scumbags like me. That's what we do these days.
It's the way to do. So Morbius' story, it's all right. It starts off, he's attacking this scumbag, and then he starts seeing these little green bugs all over him. See that right there?
Okay.
Yeah, so...
he's tripping out.
Yeah, and they're disrupting his feeding, and basically he gets distracted, and this Vicky Montesi chick, she has this vision of him attacking this innocent. So she goes to find Morbius, tracks him down, and confronts him and tries to figure out why he's getting unhinged and whatnot.
Okay.
And she wonders why he's under this spell. She learns that he's under a spell, and it's these bugs that they're from the Darkhold dimension or whatever. And this story kind of sucks, to be honest.
But it's got Morbius in it.
It's got Morbius.
I'll tell you what, there was no more two hopeful people on the world for Morbius to be good than these two right here.
Believe me when I say this, that I want Morbius to be good.
Man. Well, you know what? I'm glad I sold my, what was it, Amazing Spider-Man, like I think it was 101, whatever. It's the first appearance
Yeah,
of
Morbius, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw that thing like hike up in price before the movie came out. I'm like, oh, you're gone, buddy.
Yeah.
And then it's like crashed immediately.
Right. Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, whew.
Yeah, it's you dodged that bullet there, sir.
Yeah, but like I love Morbius and I want to see more from him.
Yeah, you want to see the guy, do good.
I want to see the Legion of Monsters.
Yeah, or Midnight Suns, all that stuff. I want to see him with Ghost Rider and I'm the edgelord 90s James wants to see all that garbage.
Can we have the goth Marvel stuff, please?
Leather Daddy Morbius with the purple cape. I don't care, dude. Just to get the but the story, he sees these bugs.
Mm-hmm.
So Vicky Montesi goes to talk to him, and she finds out that this he's under the spell that's cast by the daughter of somebody
sorceress
that he killed while he was under demonic possession.
Okay.
This chick here.
Oh,
sorry.
There we
Can
go.
we get that on con? This chick here. Morbius killed her while he was in a demonic rage.
Yep.
So
as he was morbid.
Yeah, as he was morbid out.
Too much morbid.
So Morbius, he's been distracted and he's really fucking hungry. So now he's gonna go attack Vicky, and then Homegirl, who casts a spell on Morbius, appears out of nowhere. He's like, hey, hold up, don't attack her. I'm the one who cast the bug spell. So now I hadn't known that you were going to attack Vicky over here, so I wouldn't have done that. So it's like, you're telling me that you cast this asshole spell on Morbius and caused all this drama because you wanted to be an asshole.
Yeah. It sounds like some typical grade A Marvel writing these days.
Rubbish.
All right, so for our final verdict, I'd like to do a little thing that we're going to call Trash It or Stash It. And so I'm going to say for Fantastic Four #1, I'm going to stash it. I'm going to bag and board this boy and put it in my collection and look forward to more issues, not episodes. James, Trash It or Stash It on Crypt of Shadows.
There is one more story on there that I feel like it's worth salvaging.
Okay, if you can save it, save Crypt of Shadows.
With this story, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, lay it on me.
It's X-23, Laura Kinney,
Yeah.
and Man-Thing.
Yeah.
She gets charged with the task of recruiting Man-Thing for some superhero team.
Okay.
Well, it turns out that Man-Thing's pheromones unlock X-23's killer pheromone. So she just starts butchering Man-Thing.
That's kind of cool.
And they're locked in this eternal battle of just murdering each other.
Right, because he's just, regenerating?
He just regenerates her, and she's scared, so she constantly feels fear and burns at his touch.
That's pretty cool. It's kind of like,
and
that's a terrible person to put your power against,
So,
I guess.
the artwork is so cool that it's just like, it's...
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like this, her face all
Oh, dude,
jacked
it
up.
is so messed up, and it's, like, brutal as shit. No, this is the wrong story. So...
Ooh, I like the art. This is like old school Vertigo kind of. It looks like old Swamp Thing art.
Oh, dude.
Like...
It kind of saves the book, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, it's a killer story, and Laura Kinney, Ted Silas, they're just going at each other until they're not really Laura Silas.
That is pretty cool.
Ted Silas and Laura Kinney anymore, and they're just
and of course... They saved it for the end. They're like, all right, we got to leave.
And it was the money shot. Honestly, it saved the whole thing. Like,
but if you could trash it or stash it, totally blunt.
I would say that this is salvageable just for that one story.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I like that one story.
I'll take your word.
It really, and the Moon Knight one with the wolves, that one was kind of cool too.
Right.
But I mean, that's just because it has Mooney in it.
Right. You're a fanboy.
Yeah, fanboy,
who does that shit? Who gets into that stuff?
Not I. I'm not. I'm completely above all that garbage.
Right. All right. So that's it for the poll box this week. We're going to be moving on to our next segment where we are going to be talking about Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities and.